The Lions and the Colts meet for their third and final preseason game on Saturday afternoon, and we have some interesting angles on how you can attack both the side and the total. I'm Steve Seagrave from Picks and Parlays, and if you're watching this before Friday night, we do have 2 NFL preseason plays locked and loaded. We've kept it very low volume in the NFL preseason during the last 2 years, while going 3-1 for plus 8 units in the process. I do have a special offer to share with you guys towards the end of the video, but for now, if you guys enjoy this content, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you would, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and drop those NFL preseason picks in the comment section. Regular season's right around the corner. Let me know who you like this weekend, and I'll be checking those comments and responding back. So we got Detroit at Indianapolis, kickoff 1 p.m. Eastern from Lucas Oil Stadium. And this will be part of a doubleheader on the NFL Network. Following this game will be the final game of the NFL preseason. Bears at Titans, 6 p.m. Eastern kickoff on that one. Colts currently favored by 3.5. Total sits at 35.5. And we have seen a ton of line movement on the Colts, as they opened at 1.5 originally, have now moved up at two full points and busted through that key number of 3 all the way up to 3.5. We have seen a little bit of money trickling in on the under, as this one did open at 36 and has now dipped a half point to 35.5. So looking at the Colts, they're 0-1-1 in the preseason so far. First game out, they tied up my Patriots 13-13, and then they got walloped last week in week 2, losing 34-6 against the Falcons. Shane Steichen is 5-5 straight up in the preseason, 4-5 ATS as a head coach. And for this game, the Colts starters are projected to play about 8 to 12 snaps outside of their key weapons of Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor. Neither of those players are going to be on the field for this game. Last week we saw the QB2 battle between Anthony Richardson and Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard went 7 for 14 for 62 yards. Richardson 3 for 9, only 24 yards, and he was sacked twice. However, if you look at his 2 games combined, we've seen Richardson go 14 for 23 for 169 yards, and he's also carried the ball 9 times for 68 yards and a touchdown as well. Looking at the Lions, they are 1-1 so far in the preseason. Last time out, we saw them lose in Cincinnati 16-14, 2 low-scoring games, as they also won 17-13 at home against Washington. Looking at Dan Campbell as a head coach in the preseason, he is 6-10 straight up and 7-9 ATS. Last week we saw Joshua Dobbs have a 50-yard touchdown run. He threw 7. It was 7 for 12 in that game as well, throwing for 74 yards. No touchdowns, and he did throw an interception in that game. So for this one, I'm going to be leaning towards the under. I mean, we look at these games so far that these teams have played, and 3 of the 4 combined games have gone under this total. And if it wasn't for the Falcons putting up 34 points on the Colts, that was really the only offensive outburst that we've seen between these two teams. As we went over the scores, you look at Detroit, their 2 games both combined for exactly 30 points. And you look at the Colts when they played the Patriots, that one finished with a tie with only 26 points. And when the Colts did play the Falcons, they only scored, 6 points in that one. So neither offense has been lighting it up, to say the least, in the preseason. Both teams been pretty inept offensively in their first games. Detroit quarterbacks, Joshua Dobbs and Luke Altmaier. Altmaier wasn't too bad last time out, but neither one has been very effective, at least as far as putting points up on the board for that, that's for sure. And you look at Indy's going to be using their starters outside of their elite weapons. So without Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor out there, their use of their starters in this game could actually favor the defense as opposed to the offense, considering their key weapons, their key starters are going to be on the bench for this one. We've also seen the Colts struggle on third down last week, only converting 1 of 11 times in that game against the Falcons. So it's a lean for me at best. I much prefer playing the side here. I just feel like it's going to be a lower scoring game with especially with Detroit not playing any of their starters. So we're going to lean towards the under. But then our favorite play for the game, we're going to look towards Indy laying the 3.5. I know it's pushed through that key number of 3, but I still think they can get the job done here at home just based on the personnel that's going to be on the field. We've talked about Dan Campbell resting his starters. I think he's just going to be more focused on his offensive line, his defensive line depth, kind of shoring things up, figuring out who these final roster spots are going to go to. I don't think he's very concerned with him. We've seen his record so far in the preseason. Winning these games obviously isn't the key factor here for Campbell. You look at both of Indy's quarterbacks. They've had some NFL experience. Riley Leonard played a little bit last year. Anthony Richardson, he was going to be their franchise player. Who knows? Maybe that could still happen. We've seen him just deal with struggling with injuries based on his running activity. It really puts him at risk when he runs and carries that ball, and he just hasn't quite learned how to avoid those injuries. So this is interesting because these two guys are fighting for the number 2 quarterback spot, and so I think if it's a situation that where they probably each play a half, and both going to want to shine to get that number 2 spot. On top of that, Richardson is going to be playing behind the starting offensive line for the Colts, at least for the first, 10 plus snaps or so. And he's going to be looking to put some points on the board, looking to shine, lock up that quarterback number 2 spot behind Daniel Jones. And despite the Colts' struggles on third downs, I think Shane Steichen is going to probably go pass heavy here. He's kind of got some things to figure out as far as his wide receiver depth, and he needs to figure out which one of these guys is going to back up Daniel Jones. So I think this is a spot at home where the Lions probably struggle to score again, and maybe the Colts finally can put some points on the board. So our official play for the video, we're going to go Indianapolis minus 3.5, and like I said, we're going to go lean on the under here at 35.5. Guys, check out this great pass that we have over at Picks and Parlays, where you can get the rest of 2026 right through the last day of the calendar year for a little bit more than $5 per day. This package is $799, but it is $696 off of the normal price. That's 47% off of the normal price. And this package includes all sports that I cover, including 5% plays. Those 5%ers are $35 a pop. And with this pass, you get all of my plays every day, multiple plays, for a little bit more than $5 a day. And that includes all sports, like I said, MLB, WNBA, and NFL, college football. And then you get a little bit of NBA, college hoops, and NHL as we round out the year. We've gone 8-4 with our 5% MLB plays in 2026. And if you're watching this video before Friday night, we do have a 5% MLB max bet locked and loaded. If you're looking for something more short term, you can pick up the deal where you can get buy 3 days, get 3 days free, $69, still available. And that pass as well would include all sports and 5% plays. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the like button on the way out. If you guys are looking for my client plays, the link's always in the bio. It's pnp.buzz/ss, pnp.buzz/ss. And hit that like button on the way out. Enjoy the weekend, guys. And I'll see you next time.